For this mock test, the topics are weather and spending time with others for part 1. And for part 2 and part 3, we will have the topic describe a bicycle, motorcycle, car trip you would like to go. Let's start. Now, in this first part of the test, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about weather. What kind of weather do you like most?
Well, it's the sunny weather for sure. This sort of weather allows me to enjoy a great variety of outdoor activities, like I can go for a stroll at my favorite park or go on a picnic with my family, especially on a weekend. The positive energy is just so much on a sunny day.
What's the weather like in your hometown?
I'd say it all depends on the season. I mean, in summer, the weather gets scorching hot, and in winter, it's all bitterly cold. But these days, I think it's getting warmer and hotter even during winter.
Do you like the weather in your hometown?
Of course, I really do. I think the weather in my hometown is remarkable. When it's clear outside, I couldn't help but do tons of outdoor activities like hiking or biking. Or when it's cold, I can wear some fancy clothes and get up. My hometown's weather is perfect for me.
Do you prefer dry or wet weather?
It's hard to choose only one, but I'd go for wet weather. You see, I'm a sucker for rainy days. The sound of the rain and the smell of the ground lift my mood. I can either go for a cup of hot coffee and a book, or take a very satisfying nap.
Do you prefer dry or wet weather?
If I have to choose one, I'd say I'm more into the dry weather. Apart from the things I mentioned about loving outdoor activities, I don't also need to deal with humidity or getting drenched in sweat when I go outside. I just feel fresh and ready to do anything on a dry weather day.
I'd like to move on and ask you some questions about spending time with others. Do you like talking with people?
Well, most certainly, I love shooting the breeze, especially with my friends. Sometimes we talk about current events like news, sports, and weather, but in most cases we discuss matters related to our work and family. To be honest, it's one of my most favorite activities to do with them.
How do you like spending time with your friends?
I definitely love it. Not only because we're crazy about painting the town red when we hang out, but also we frequently get together to catch up and talk about pressing matters. I can definitely say that spending quality time with them is priceless.
Would you prefer to study alone or with others?
To be brutally honest with you, I'd rather study alone. I mean, I don't need to worry about interruptions or any unwanted noise, but most importantly, I will have undivided attention, so I can totally go deeper into my study.
Do you remember a time when you needed to cooperate with others?
Yes, I do. I remember it vividly. Just a few months ago, I was given a huge project with my juniors at work. In less than a month, we finished the task remarkably, thanks to the effortless teamwork we had. Actually, working in a team is something I do on a daily basis in my workplace.
Now, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say, and you can make notes if you wish. Here's some paper and a pencil to make notes, and here is your topic. I'd like you to describe a bicycle, motorcycle, car trip you would like to go.
I'm going to talk about a car trip I'd definitely do one of these days. Speaking of the person I'm going to do it with, his name is Edward, and he's usually my travel buddy. He's an average height guy with good fashion taste. I like his style. I think he is in his late 20s, the same as me. In my opinion, Edward is a glass half full person and a down to earth man. Anyway, we've been planning to go out of town for a while now. There's a tourist hotspot south of our country. It's a well-known seaside resort with outstanding natural beauty. It'll be a perfect getaway place for us to live worry-free even for a limited time. I guess we'll hit that place around summertime this year. Since it's a beach resort, the summer weather will be superb for it, giving us the right amount of temperature to enjoy sunbathing, swimming, or playing some beach sports. By the way, I chose a car trip because the road to that place is also remarkable for its scenic view and picturesque atmosphere. It will be a 4-hour drive with me as the driver, and the whole journey will be one to remember. Another thing I'm excited about is listening to music while having the joy ride. That's something priceless. Not just that, but also, there won't be any limit to what we can bring because we own the vehicle, and it's really good because I don't pack light when I'm traveling. Of course, we can stop anywhere and anytime to take a break, eat, or take some pictures. I think going there by car is not only time saving, but also hassle free. Well, to cut a long story short, that's all I can say about the car trip I have in mind.
We've been talking about the car trip you'd like to try, and I'd now like to ask you some questions related to this. Which form of vehicle is more popular in your country, bikes, cars, or motorcycles?
As of the present, bikes and motorcycles are gaining more popularity across my country. But to answer this question, I guess cars are still on top of the list. I think it's mainly because they are hassle-free and comfort-wise, they're unbeatable compared to bikes and motorcycles. What I'm trying to say is that cars have cozy seats and cool AC. You can also bring bulky and heavy stuff, as you can just put them in the trunk. Not to mention, the roads in my country are well built and safe for driving. And of course, they're time saving because you can go anywhere and anytime.
Do you think air pollution comes mostly from mobile vehicles?
Although I don't have expertise in this topic, I can say that we cannot single out automobiles for air pollution. I mean, of course, it is true that they're one of the reasons behind the problem because people now prefer to use their private cars on a daily basis. They enjoy the convenience and speed that cars offer. But we have to also consider other elements like factories, wildfires, and the burning of fossil fuels. All of them emit excessive amounts of carbon dioxide into the air. What I really want to say is that we must focus on all fronts when dealing with problems as complicated as air pollution.
Do you think people need to change the way of transportation drastically to protect the environment?
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't think we should do it drastically. I believe when we rush things out, we tend to make mistakes, and that's when the problem gets bigger. What I suggest is that we should tackle the problem step by step. Maybe we can start by replacing gasoline cars with electric vehicles, now that they are becoming more and more affordable. They are eco-friendly and emit less CO2 into the air. In my observation, people are already used to the way of transportation these days. Imagine if we changed that hastily, they might not have time to adjust and adapt, and this will create more problems. All things considered, everyone wants to protect the environment, but we have to do it gradually.
How are the transportation systems in urban areas and rural areas different?
In terms of differences, I can say that urban areas are well equipped with modern transportations. They have all sorts of them, from taxis, subways, buses to private cars. Not to mention the roads are well constructed with a sophisticated traffic control system. Although, we cannot deny that traffic jams are everywhere due to the high volume of cars in cities. Speaking about rural areas, transportation is lesser in number. I think it's due to their small population. There are even a few schedules for buses or trains, so others consider it inconvenient. But, of course, we must also recognize that there is no traffic congestion and air pollution is not a problem in the countryside.
Thank you. That is the end of the speaking test for IELTS.